everyone, welcome back again to this channel. Thank you so much for being with me in this live section. So guys, we're talking about many things that is happening about Nnamdi Kanu's case. So for the moment, please, if you know you're doing something for the moment, please can you just leave it and come and listen to what I have to say. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's fight for freedom has entered its most dangerous stage yet. But this time, the threat is not just from the DSS, the Nigerian government, or the court system. There is a secret plan to weaken him from the inside, to divide his legal team, confuse his supporters, and make sure he loses focus right from he loses focus. People have been talking about what is going on between the Mazen and the Kanu's lawyers. They say that what is really going on. They have been saying that people have been accusing the former lawyers of accepting what the government call. So guys, please stay with me, and sorry for the network issue. We're having a glitch. So let's continue. Nnamdi Kanu's fight for freedom has entered its most dangerous stage. But this time, the threat is not just from the DSS, the Nigerian government, or the court system. There is a secret plan to weaken him from the inside, to divide his legal team, confuse his supporters, and make sure he loses focus right before a judgment that could change everything. And guess what? This plan is already in motion. Now, the unseen battle. While most of the public is watching the court dates and DSS drama, another battle is happening behind the scene. Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, led by Kanu Agabi, is suddenly facing what internal controversies, accusation, blame games, and what mistrust. These distractions are surfacing just weeks before Justice James Omotosho delivers his final judgment on October 10. The timing is suspicious and was strategic. Now, these are the accusations. In recent days, some voices have accused prominent members of Kanu's former and current legal representation, Mike Ezekohome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor, of betraying Kanu or collaborating with federal elements to keep him detained. These are serious claims, but whether true or not, the important question is, why now? Why are old wounds from 2022 being reopened just when the legal team needs unity the most? Why are they not bringing back old wounds? Now that they need unity, to fight for Nnamdi Kanu's release. Now, the 2023 backstory. Back in October 2022, the Court of Appeal discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu, ruling that the federal government had no legal told to 2025, and suddenly the same old disagreement from 2022 are being brought back to the surface. This isn't coming from the DOS or Directorate of State of IPOP. Instead, it's coming from other quarters, individuals and groups who seem invested in painting the legal team as divided or corrupt. The problem, this narrative takes attention away from the court case itself and focuses it on personal drama. Now, the timing before Justice James Omotosho has fixed October 10 to deliver his ruling in one of the most decisive stages of Kanu's legal battle. If the movement is distracted between now and that date, it will walk into the judgment weekend. A divided legal team can't strategize effectively. A distracted supporter base won't rally with the same energy if the ruling is in Kanu's favor, and won't react with the same force if it is against him. Now, the methodology they should have followed. In a case this is politically was sensitive, the methodology is clear. Keep internal disputes private. Focus public statements on the facts and laws, and not personality. Present a united front at all times, especially near judgment. Instead, what we see now is open conflict being fed into the public space. Whether international or not, this is exactly how you sabotage a movement from within. The target here isn't just Kanu's lawyers. The real target is public perception. If supporters believe the legal team is compromised, trust in the process collapses. And in high-profile political cases, perception can be as powerful as the legal outcome itself. Now, who is benefiting from all this thing? Let's ask the big question. Who gains if this division continues? It could be political actors in Aso Rock who fear Kanu's release will destabilize the status quo. Opponents within and outside IPOB who want to weaken his influence, or even those who want to replace the current legal team with loyalists they can control. Now, politics is chess and not checkers. Cause chaos before the match point and your opponent loses the advantage. Right now, October 10 is the match point, and these distractions are the chaos. Now, people are saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to cause a drama between the Nnamdi Kanu's legal team and Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, so that it will bring a distraction for the court case which is coming up on October 10, 2025, so that they'll be distracted, so that they won't know what to do during that time. That is what many people have been saying. So they have been saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, want to cause chaos between the Nnamdi Kanu's legal team and them, and this upcoming court case of Nnamdi Kanu, because they want, he wants to put confusion in it. So they went on further saying that politics is checks and not checkers. Cause chaos before the match point and your opponent loses the advantage. Right now, October 10th is the match point, and these distractions are the chaos. My people, this is not the time for petty quarrels or reconciled accusations from 2022. This is the time for focus, unity, and strategic thinking, because on October 10th, the world will see whether justice will finally be done, or whether political games will once again win the day. And if we allow ourselves to be divided now, then no matter the judgment, we are already lost. That is it. So it's not time for them, to start digging up past things, because they were saying that it was the people who were handling Nnamdi Kanu's case then, that's his old lawyers who were handling his case in 2022, that did not, they said they did not implement the law, where thereby they said that they were blaming the uh, Mike Ezekome. They were blaming him, saying that why did he allow the execution? That why did he allow execution? Why did he just allow the execution? Why did that? If he did not allow it, by now, Nnamdi Kanu is going to be free. Now, this is the distraction that we are talking about, because, like I told you guys, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to, distract distract Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers. Now, this is the distraction. Political strategists know that the best way to weaken an enemy is to make them fight themselves. History is full of examples. Activists, liberation movements, and political war dissent often fail not because their cause is wrong, but because they were divided when it mattered the most. This is exactly the blueprint being applied to Nnamdi Kanu's legal fight right now. Why the 2022 case still matters? This is the reason why they're still digging up, the 2022 case. There's causing fights now. They say many supporters think the 2022 ruling is old news, but in truth, it's still the strongest legal weapon in Kanu's arsenal. If that judgment had been enforced, Kanu would have been free 2 years ago. Reopening the controversy around it now creates doubt in that victory, making it easier for opponents to downplay its importance in Omotosho's decision. Now, the role of media in amplifying division, social media and blogs are now full of unverified claims about Kanu's lawyers. Some platforms might be deliberately pushing this narrative for political favor or political gain. So guys, please just stay with me, and I'm so sorry, for the network glitch over here. I'm so sorry. So guys, please just stay with me. So let us keep going. Now, let me tell you guys the reason why they're digging up all these things. Just like I told you guys, 10th October is around the corner. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu will soon be in court and is around the corner. And guess what? They are trying every possible best in order to, to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu's legal team have a fight, or Bola Ahmed Tinubu want to jam their heads together so that on that 10th October it is going to be a useless something, so it will not really work out. That is, the plan. Now, they say that this is the distraction they're talking about. Political strategists know that the best way to weaken an enemy is to make them fight themselves, and history is full of examples. Activists, liberation movements, and political war dissident often failed, not because their cause is wrong, but because they were divided when it mattered the most. This is exactly the blueprint being applied to Nnamdi Kanu's legal fight right now. Now, why the 2022 case still matters? Many supporters think the 2022 ruling is old news, but in truth, it's still the strongest legal weapon in Kanu's arsenal. If that judgment had been enforced, Kanu would have been free 2 years ago. Now, reopening the controversy around it now creates doubt in that victory, making it easier for opponents to downplay its importance in Omotosho's decision. Now, the role of media in amplifying division. Social media and blogs are now full of unverified claims about Kanu's lawyers. Some platforms might be deliberately pushing this narrative for political favors or financial gain. The more people talk about betrayal and collaboration, the less they talk about illegal rendition, human rights, and justice, the real core of the case. Now, the risk of losing international support. The Nnamdi Kanu case has been drawing international attention from human rights groups to foreign governments. But if the movement looks chaotic or internal corrupt, international observers may pull back their support. Opponents could use the infighting as proof that the case is disorganized and unworthy of our global pressure. October 10 as the tipping point. The Omotosho judgment is not just another court date. It could decide whether Kanu gets a legal pathway to freedom, whether the Nigerian government gets more judicial backing to keep him locked up indefinitely. The weeks before such a date are when maximum preparation is needed, but the distraction is still in that time. Now, patterns from the Buhari era. During Buhari's administration, similar tactics were used against political opponents. They discredit their allies, use court delays, feed the press with damaging side stories. It's no surprise that the same formula might be in play under what Tinubu's watch. Now, how distrust spreads like fire. In any movement, once doubt enters it, it spreads quickly. One accusation against a lawyer becomes 10 rumors on Facebook, which becomes 100 what angry tweets. And before long supporters are turning against each other instead of focusing on the real enemy. Now, the bigger political stakes. A free Nnamdi Kanu is not just a legal matter; it's a political earthquake. His release could spark renewed calls for Biafra, embodying separatist movements and shake Nigeria's political world balance. That's why some forces are determined to ensure that even if he wins in court, he loses in public world perception. Now, why identifying the instigators matters? Before we even discuss solutions, the first step is naming the hands before the chaos. Are they disgruntled ex-members of the movement? Are they government operative? Are they opportunities seeking prevalence before October 10th? Once identified, the accountability can be challenged before they cause more harm. Now, the legal team survival strategy. For the next 2 months, the legal team needs a war room approach, zero public internal arguments, coordinated press statements, regular briefings with key supporters to maintain world trust, primitive rebuttals to false claims before they spread. Now, if we allow ourselves to be distracted now, we will not just lose, or we will not just lose in October 10th, 25, which is yet to come. We will lose the moral high ground and the unity that has kept the movement alive for years. The enemy doesn't need to beat us in court. If they can make us beat, if they can make us, beat ourselves in public. Now, that is what I always keep saying, that the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu should not be distracted at this point. They should forget about what happened in 2022 and move on, because what they're trying to do now is how to, fight and bring Nnamdi Kanu out. So they should not even try to be distracted. Now, this is the psychological of distraction. Distraction is not just a political tactic, it's a psychological weapon. The human brain can only focus on so many things at once. If the legal team is forced to deal with accusations, interviews, and rebuttals, their mental energy for actual case preparation drops sharply. This is exactly what the opposing side wants. Now, the divide and replace theory. Some analysts believe the distraction campaign may be a setup to push certain lawyers out and replace them with more manageable ones. If the most experienced or outspoken legal minds are discredited, their replacement will not have the same skill or courage to challenge the government effectively. Now, the Kenya connection, let's not forget, Kanu's extraordinary redemption from Kenya is the foundation of the legal case. The government position on that illegal operation remains what's weak by making the conversation about lawyers instead of jurisdiction legality. The shift public debate away from the government was wrongdoing. Now, social media upgrading welfare. Some suspect coordinated online campaigns are boosting posts that attack the legal team while burying posts about Omotosho's upcoming judgment. This isn't just random. A social media manipulation is also known as what modern political tool. Now, the international timing. October is not just a random month. It falls in a global political season where human rights reports and UN briefings are prepared. A divided, chaotic narrative now could water down the mention of Kanu's case in those international documents. Lessons from Mandela's trial. During Nelson Mandela's Rivona trial, the apartheid government tried to fracture the defense team with planted rumors and press leaks. It failed because the lawyers and movement refused to fight each other publicly. This is the exact kind of unity Kanu's team must copy. Now, the funding angle. Some sources suggest the controversy might also target fundraising streams for Kanu's defense. If donors start believing that lawyers are corrupt or compromised, they may withhold funds, starving the legal battle of resources right before the final push. Now, controversy fatigue among the supporters. Supporters who are constantly fed bad news, fights, and scandals eventually would get exhausted. They may stop following updates or even disengage completely, leaving fewer voices to pressure the government. The court of public opinion. Nigerian politics does not run on the courtroom alone. The court of public opinion can pressure the judge, influence, influence international observers, and frame the headlines. A united movement can turn a court case into a political what earthquake. A divided moment, the case becomes just another line in the news. Now, the silent beneficiaries. We must also consider silent actors, politicians who fear being associated with Kanu's case, security chiefs who built their careers on keeping Kanu in check, rival factions who want the IPOB leadership to lose influence. All of them quietly would benefit from continued division. Warning from the past 2 years, between 2022 and now, every time the legal team lost momentum, it was after a wave of internal conflict or bad press. This is not coincidence, it was a pattern. If history repeats itself now, October 10 could be another missed opportunity. So the final battle, this is the final battle here. If October 10 is the last major chance for a breakthrough in courts, then every decision before that date must be lesser focused on winning. No public quarrels, no energy wasted, no ego battles. In war term, this is the final offensive, and soldiers don't argue in the middle of the battlefield. So just like when people have been telling the Mazin and the Kalu's lawyer that he should just focus, this time around. They should focus and forget about anything that happened in 2022, because if they keep talking about what happened in 2022, it's going to make them to be distracted about this upcoming court case of Master Nnamdi Kanu, which is coming up on the 10th October 2025. So people have been saying that they should not be distracted, forget whatever happened in 2022, and try to look for how to release this man. Now, the loyalty test trap. One subtle trick in political legal battles is planting loyalty text, forcing lawyers to publicly prove their loyalty. If they respond aggressively, they look defensive. If they stay silent, they look guilty. Either way, it eats time and distracts from the real case. Now, the domino effect on witness. Division in the legal team can scare off potential expert witnesses or supportive legal analysis. Nobody wants to attach their credibility to a case that looks unstable from the outside. How it weakens negotiation power. In a high-stake cases, they are always back-channel negotiation, plea deals, political bargaining, conditional release. A divided legal front has weaker bargaining power because the government can claim they can't even agree among themselves. Now, the DSS advantage. Every new public quarrel between the Kanu's allies is a gift to the DSS. It allows them to say, look, even his own people are fighting, and that can influence how they treat his detention was condition. The distraction by volume tactics. Sometimes the point isn't to make one big damaging accusation, is to flood the space with so many small controversies that the real story gets buried. Right now, each mini drama pushes October 10 further out of the headline. the threat to historical record. If the noise around this case keeps being about personal disputes, future historical records will highlight drama over justice. That means years from now, people will people will remember the quarrels more than the illegal rendition, exactly what opponents want. Now, politicians know the power of sound bites. If the only quotes reporters get are about if the only quotes reporters get are about lawyer betrayal instead of justice for illegal abduction, then the public takeaway shifts completely. Now, possible financial blackmail angle. There is also the possibility of financial blackmail, leak allegations that legal fees were misused, spread rumors of corruption. Even if false, it can freeze them support and staff with the legal team. Now, listen from other political prisoners, from Julian Assange to political detainees in Africa. A recurring tactic is divide the defense, then delay the case. That is their major tactic. The major tactic of the Nigerian government is to divide the defense, put war in the defense team, and delay the case. So that's what they're trying to do to Nnamdi Kanu's case, but it's not going to work because Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers now should focus on the coming case, the Kanu's coming case, which is on October 10, 2025. I forget whatever is happening. Forget the case, the one that happened in 2022. That's just the best thing that they're going to do now. Now, delay benefits the state because the longer you stay detained, the harder it is to rally strong public or pressure. Psychological pressure on Kanu himself. News of infighting can mentally weaken the detainee. If Kanu believes his team is fractured, his own moral in court could suffer, and that affects how confident and persuasive he appears before the judge. The just enough doubt strategy. The goal of the distraction might not be to fully destroy the legal team, just to create enough doubt so that even after a win, public unity is still fractured, to capitalize on it. How it opens the door for fake news. Once the vision stories spread, fake documents and edited videos and false statements can be slipped into the conversation and believed by many. This can completely hijack the narrative away from the real legal fight. So, guys, let's really go on. So, more angles to deepen in this narrative. The divide and rule playbook. This is not a new strategy. It's one of the oldest political tricks in the book. Historically, every strong liberation movement has faced this, from the ANC in South Africa to the civil rights movement in the US. So, guys, please drop your comment below because we've been actually looking at your comments. Now, someone said this in the screen. He said, "My problem with IPOB, that's Internet People of Biafra, let's deal with people like Ojus or Alu who looted us and leave Abuja and Nigeria alone. Being part of Nigeria is a great thing." Oh, this comment is wonderful. You see, Ojus Okalu is a big betrayal to the Igbos, a very big betrayal. And he said this man is, once Nnamdi Kanu is out, he's going to handle that man in a special way, because that man is what a big betrayer to the Igbos. We have seen so many times that he was seen supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even his regime he was supporting. Now this person here said, my problem with interest for Biafra, let's deal with people like Omotosho who looted us and leave Abuja and Nigeria alone. Being part of Nigeria is a great thing, like the best thing anyone can think of, if we only wipe away these bad eggs as spoiling Nigeria for us. And this Uzo Kalu is a big betrayer of the Igbos. He can never be seen as a brother. I'm telling you honestly, he can never be seen, as our brother. He can't. So guys, let's move on. Let's take a look at this comment too. Okay, he said here, hold Eastern governors accountable, leave Abuja and Nigeria alone. To be honest, Eastern governors are doing a lot. Like I always say that, you see the Eastern governors, I don't know the reason why they're not always, talking about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, their own brother, to be precise, their own brother. They are not even saying anything about his release. They are not even coming out to say, oh, let's go and write a letter to Bola Ahmed Tinubu to release our brother for us. They're not saying anything about it. Instead, they are even saying supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu's agenda. All these things, is actually what is very heartbreaking. It is very heartbreaking. So let's go on. So guys, please drop your comment below, because I really want this live section, to be interactive. So let's move on. Now, the divide and rule playbook. This is not a new strategy. It's one of the oldest political tricks in the book. Historically, every strong liberation movement has faced this, from the ANC in the South Africa to the civil rights movement in the US. The pattern is the same. Keep the leaders distracted with internal fire so they can't focus on the external enemy. The psychological of timing. People don't remember everything. They remember what is trending. That's why bringing up a 2022 controversy now is effective. Now, that's why bringing up a 2022 controversy now is effective. New supporters of the movement might not know the full story. Old supporters might have forgotten the details, making them vulnerable to half-truths and spin. Now, this manufactured tension work because it feels like breaking news, even though it was a recycled word drama. Now, the shadow players who benefit from this chaos likely the political rivals who fed the momentum a legal victory would give the IPOB leader, elements within the security architecture who want the detention prolonged at any cost, influence merchants, people who gain relevance and social media attention by stalking word division. These players never act in the open. They use influencers, bloggers, and fake accounts to push the narrative. Now, the legal fatigue trap. Divisions don't just affect public opinion, they also drain the energy of the legal team. Every hour, Kanu Agabi and his colleagues spend clarifying rumors or responding to in-team quarrels is an hour not spent sharpening court arguments. The enemy knows this and is counting on what legal fatigue, setting in. Now, okay, okay, yeah, someone said something here. The person said he will realize him towards the election to get voted. Yes, people have been, talking about the way Nnamdi Kanu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to see how he's going to boost his election come 2027. Just like recently, he even came out self. I mean, this is the second time. Bola Ahmed Tinubu sent David Umaya. This is for the second time. He has sent David Umaya the first time, and he sent David Umaya the second time now to come and tell the Igbos that he's not the one, that we should vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027 so that the Igbos can get a chance for presidency in the future. Like, you can imagine that though. He's trying to use Nnamdi Kanu, to get. So what he's trying to tell us now is that if the South is vote for him, that he will be able to give us a chance to become. He'll be giving the Igbos a chance to become president in the nearest future. Imagine this man's sense. That's what he sent David Omaye to come and tell us, and he came to even tell us. That's what he said, and he came to tell us this is this is very, very bad. Now let's go on to the next thing here. This person said, okay, someone said here, he said Tinubu is using Kanu as a last card to get voted in 2027. That is what he's using Kanu to do. But this is now his biggest strategy on how to win 2027 election. He thinks that Kanu is going to make him win 2027 election. But no way, we're not voting for him at all. The Igbos have already said they're not going to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This was a man, him and his son, Seyi Tinubu, came and told Nnamdi Kanu's family and brother that if during 2023 election, that if IPOB need to know of Biafra stay calm throughout the whole 2023 election, that is going to release Nnamdi Kanu. Up to now, they have not even fulfilled their promises, and they want us to come and believe them. All of a sudden, he sent David Maya to come and tell us that we should vote for them, that if we vote for him, he's going to release Nnamdi. We all know that all these things are lies, and he will never do such a thing. We all know his strategy for him to win the 2027 election. So let's go on. Now, it says that discrediting key individuals, part of the tactics is personal target key figures like Michael Ezoke, then Ifeanyi Ejiofor or others with accusation. Once they are branded as suspects in the eyes of a supporters, their ability to lead a united legal strategy is undermined. It's not just about the law, it's about what trust erosion. The October 10 cliffhanger factor, the closer we get to judgment day, the more intense the distractions will get. Expect more breaking stories, more social media fights, and more recycled controversies. The idea is to make the camp walk into court already weakened in spirit. That is his plan. What Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to do is that he wants to make sure that the Nnamdi Kanu's camp, his lawyers, they walk into court already weakened in the spirit, so that once they are in court on October 10th, 2025, they won't know what to say again. And before the Nigerian government will win. That's what they want. Now, the lesson from 2022. In 2022, Justice Bintanyako's handling of the case and the Court of Appeal discharge created a wave of optimism. That optimism was quickly targeted and dampened by legal maneuvering and PR distractions. Those who were watching closely then will recognize the same fingerprints now. The call for strategic silence. Not every attack needs an immediate reaction. The smartest move for the legal team and supporters now might be a temporary blackout on internal squabs after October 10th. Starve the distraction machine of oxygen, let the focus remain lesser sharper. So everything that Bola Ahmed have been planning to use as a strategy content 2027 is not going to work. All these things he's trying to do, trying to put a problem or trying to put chaos between the lives of Martin and the 10, it's not going to work, because these people are still going to be so strong during October 10, 2025, and they're going to give a very good defense. They're going to give a very good defense. Now, recycling old wounds for fresh chaos. The fact that this DOS related controversy is from 2022 shows it's not about truth, it's about timing. Old conflicts are like dominant landmines. Dig them up, drop them in the present, and they explode in the middle of a critical moment. Social media weaponization, Twitter, Facebook are the primary battleground. There have been coordinated hashtag, anonymous accounts, and doctored screenshots are tools to magnify a tiny disagreement into a threading war. Once the noise reaches a certain level, traditional media picks it up, making it news, even if it's misinformation. Now, the two front war problem. Legal teams are trained to fight in court, not in public relation battles. When both fronts open legal and PR, it stretches the team beyond its capacity. The enemy wants Kanu's lawyers to waste mental energy defending their reputations rather than defending their clients. Now, we have to ask who is funding this distraction? Who is actually making, funding this distraction? People are saying that it's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, nobody else. And online campaigns, even smear campaigns, cost money. If there's a budget, when there's an agenda, about that agenda isn't about justice for Nnamdi Kanu. They replace the lawyer's agenda. One possible end game of this controversy is to make supporters call for the replacement of certain lawyers. Replacing lawyers close to judgment, they would delay proceedings, force case with strategy, and ultimately will buy more time for those who want Kanu to remain in detention. So the best idea they should do now is just settle their differences. Whatever is causing the conflict, they should come together, because this is nothing time to quarrel. This is time they're going to focus on 10th October 2025, because Nnamdi Kanu is coming out, whether they like it or not. He's coming out on 10th October 2025, because enough of the postponement. You see this 10th October 2025, whatever they want to do, they should do. But this man is coming out 10th October 2025. Now, exploiting personality clashes. Even in the best legal teams, personality clashes, leaders have egos and visions differ. The enemy does not need to create new conflict, they just magnify existing ones. A private disagreement becomes a public drama, and suddenly the whole movement is forced to pick sides. The divide the support base effect. A split support base is more dangerous than a lost court case. Why? Because even if Kanu is released, rebuilding unity will take longer than rebuilding a legal strategy. This plays right into the hands of those who want IPOB permanently what? Fractured. Now, distraction from international lobbying. Right now, pro-Kanu lobbyists in the UK, the US, and EU need a united front to push human rights and legal arguments. Internal fights weaken their credibility. Foreign allies may start questioning whether they are backing a stable movement, preparing the ground for blame games. If the October 10 ruling goes against Kanu, the distraction campaign ensures there's already someone to blame what internally. Now, this shifts the anger away from the judiciary and the Nigerian state and towards what fellow movement members. The need for controlled messaging. In the face of such distraction, the movement needs an official communication channel with daily updates, no links, no unverified news. Silence creates a vacuum, and vacuums get filled by the loudest, not the most truthful voices. So, like I always say, you see all these things that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do, it's not going to work. But the court case on 10th October is going to be held, and this Nnamdi Kanu will also be released on 10th October 2025. So if he's trying to put chaos between the lawyers, I'm not sure it's going to work at all. It will not even work. So guys, now, creating noise, to hide the signal. The signal right now is October 10, Justice Omotosho ruling. The noise is every side talk, leaked memo, or revised scandal meant to drown out that singular in the public's mind. If people are arguing about lawyers, they're not counting down to judgment day. Exploiting social media shorts memory. Social media thrives on the latest outrage, not the truth. By throwing this old DOS matter into the trend cycle, enemies can push the real issue. Kanu's illegal detention further down people's feet. Building fake consensus online, bots and fake accounts can make it look like a majority of IPOB supporters agree with removing certain lawyers or leaders. In reality, it might just be 20 people running 200 accounts. The illusion of consensus can pressure real members to join the bandwagon. Now, targeting emotional triggers, the DOS issue taps into old wounds, personal loyalties, and trust issues. Emotional topics spread faster than legal facts, and that's why it is the perfect distraction. The court of public opinion versus the court of law. The final judgment will happen in one court, Justice Omotosho, but the distraction campaign tries to drag the legal team into a second court, public opinion, where emotions, not laws, and rule. They drain the energy strategy. They drain the energy strategy. Every hour spent responding to social media drama is an hour lost preparing for court. Legal focus is like a battery you don't waste, it's chasing current loyalty. Enemies know that once loyalty is questioned, even good advice will be doubted. This erodes trust within the legal team and between the lawyers and the movement. The risk of mistrust among what international allies. Foreign partners work on human rights campaigns, need confidence in a movement towards unity. Public quarrels give them second thoughts, which can slow down or stop for diplomatic pressure. Psychological warfare on Kanu himself. Don't forget, Kanu hears these things from inside detention. Seeing his team fight could lower his morale, which is exactly what the opposition wants, which is not going to happen. The power of strategic silence. Sometimes the best way to beat a distraction is not to amplify it. Silence keeps oxygen away from the fire, because every public defense of a smear can make the smear more what? Visible. That is just it. So just like I always tell you guys, you see October 10th is going to be a victory for Nnamdi Kanu, because the what Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to do is that he wants to make sure that he wants to make sure that he distract the maximum the Kalu's legacy, so that they won't know what to come out and do on 10th October 2025, or maybe get distracted that they will no longer prepare for his court case. So just like I always say, maximum the Kalu's lawyers are always preparing for his court case, ahead of the 10th October 2025. So they are already preparing. So he's trying to look for how he's going to jam their heads together, so that they will get distracted. That is just what he wants to do. Now, timing is never accidental. Controversies don't randomly resurface before a major court date. That's what coordinated timing. Whoever is behind this knows that the best moment to weaken the legal team is right before judgment, turning supporters into investigators instead of what? Advocates. By reviving this DOS matter, they make supporters waste time digging into 2023 history instead of campaigning for Kanu's freedom. Now, people become amateur detectives instead of active freedom what? Advocates. They divide by ideology trap. Some will frame it as a question of ideology. Who truly represents Kanu's vision? Once supporters are split among ideology lines, unity was collapses. Weaponizing legacy media and bloggers. Certain bloggers will pick up the story for clicks, not caring if it's true. Because by the time they have heard that, oh, these people are, they will not turn it into another thing. Traditional media would then recycle it, giving the distraction credibility. So that's why they said the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, they should not even get distracted at all. Everything that happened in 2020 should die. Let them forget about everything that happened in 2022. They should focus on the present now. So distracting financial backers. Legal battles require funding. Public quarrels can make donors pull back, fearing mismanagement or internal war chaos, creating a crisis within a crisis. The main crisis is Kanu's detention. The distraction creates a secondary crisis, leadership trust issues. When two crises compete, public focus splinters. Now, sabotaging courtroom atmosphere. Judge noticed public controversy surrounding a case. A messy divided defense team could subconsciously influence how the court views the seriousness and credibility of the defense. Now, testing the legal team's weak point. The DOS revival might be a test run to see how the legal team reacts under pressure. If they crack here, enemies know exactly how to break them on bigger issues. The shock and confused approach, bringing up a long forgotten issue, shock supporters into confusion. Wait, what is really happening now? That's what they'll be asking. Confusion slows down organized response. Now, online algorithm record online algorithms reward controversy, not justice. Platforms like Facebook and Twitter push posts that generate anger and division. That's why the distraction spread faster than the actual legal update. Exploiting old audio and video clips, selective editing of old speech or meetings can make people appear guilty or disloyal. Few will check the full context. Now, sowing seeds for post-judgment chaos. Even if Kanu wins in court, this division could resurface what externally, sabotaging the next phase of the struggle. The slow poison effect. Distractions don't always cause immediate collapse. They plant seeds of doubt that grow slowly, so that when unity is most needed later, is already too weak. False flags within the movement. Some of those shouting the loudest about the GOS issue may secretly be working for the opposition. They pose as concerned insiders to gain trust, before spreading division. Those are, like I always say, that people who have been, that they are, you see them, they always come in. They always stay in private and be supporting Nnamdi Kanu, saying that we want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. They'll be supporting him in private, but when it comes to public, these people are not even supporting at all. Or will I even say in public they are seen supporting Nnamdi Kanu, say, oh, we want Nnamdi Kanu to be released, but in private they are not seen supporting Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the urgency illusion, this distraction is presented as something that must be addressed immediately. The forces leaders to divert focus right now when they should be lesser locked on what cost strategy. So no matter what the Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do, it's not going to work, because the Nazim of the Kazi legal team have already found out that what he wants to do is to jam their heads together, so that they'll be distracted, and they will not be able to know they will not be able to know what to do on 10th October 2025. So guys, there's a normal ritual we normally do in this channel. So please do wait to type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu, and also justice delayed is not justice denied, because we use this platform to agitate for his release and to tell the federal government that this man is innocent. So guys, please do wait to type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu. So let's go on. The historical precedent of sabotage before big wins. In freedom struggles worldwide, infiltration and distraction always peak just before a major world breakthrough. These mirrors tactics used against Mandela, Ken Saro-Wiwa, and others. Emotional overload as a word disarmament too. Constant quarrels drain supporters emotionally. Exhausted people don't match protests or donate, they switch off entirely. The pick a side trap. When forced to choose sides in an internal fight, supporters stop focusing on the common goal and start defending what personality. This kills the one voice effect that movement needs. Legal teams moral targeted. Lawyers thrive on confidence from their clients and supporters. Public bickering makes them feel unsupported and what second guessed. Psychological warfare against Kanu himself. If news of division reaches him in detention, it can create doubt about the loyalty and competence of his team. A demoralized leader is harder to defend. Now, slow leak distraction strategy. Instead of dropping all accusations at once, new revolutions are linked gradually to keep the scandal alive for weeks. This ensures that the legal fox is never what steady. Hijacking press coverage of the court day. Journalists covering October 10 may focus more on the internal rifts than the actual what ruling. Yes, than the actual ruling. This shifts headlines from court decide fate of Kanu to Kanu camp in Disari. That is what you will not be here. Instead of court decide fate of Kanu, it will not be Kanu camp in Disari, which will never happen because the Mazen and the Kanu's lawyers are going to settle whatever issues they have and come back to to make sure that they try their possible best to release Nnamdi Kanu. This is not been a time for them to start fighting or start talking about what happened in 2022. Now, exploiting social media echo chambers. Algorithms make people mostly see posts from like-minded users. If the wrong narrative dominates one echo chamber, it becomes truth within that circle. Legal opponents can cite the division. Prosecutors or government lawyers might hint in court that the defense isn't even united, planting seeds in the judge's mind. This is subtle but dangerous. Internal whistleblowing as a PR weapon. Leaked private messages or meeting notes, whether real or fabricated, can appear damning in public. Once released, they spread too fast to fast check. Now, redirection of volunteer energy. Grassroots activists end up spending hours debating the DOS matter instead of mobilizing for court attendance, protest, or awareness campaign. The smoke screen for other political moves. While everyone's eyes are on the internal fight, the opposition can quietly make legislative or judicial move that weakens Kanu's case, amplifying small misunderstandings into evidence. A small disagreement between team members can be exaggerated into a major betrayal story. This is often fueled by misquoted statements, turning supporters into online trolls. Some get so consumed by defending their side in the DOS issue that they start attacking fellow supporters online, further deepening the cracks. Now, manipulating influencers in the movement. Popular voices may unknowingly spread half truths about the issue, giving it legitimacy. Once an influencer pushes it, reversing the narrative becomes even more harder. So guys, just like I always say, please, there's a normal ritual we normally do here. So please do well to type in the comment section, free Martin and the color, and also share your thoughts below. Let me know what you guys really think about this. Let me know what you guys really think, by Tinubu trying to use rifts, to delay Kanu's freedom. So just like I always say, please do well to type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu. Justice delayed is not justice denied, because we use this platform to agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to tell the Nigerian government that he's innocent and he needs to be released. Now let's go on. Criticizing fashion leaders to weaken unity. Opponents may subtly promote certain individuals as alternative to power centers to Kanu's main leadership, causing a split chain of command. Weaponizing old grievance. Past misunderstandings between supporters or lawyers are being dug up and repackaged as fresh scandals to reignite dominant conflicts, using distractions to control the narrative window. News cycles are short. If they dominate the headlines now, it ensures the October 10 legal ruling would get the coverage it deserves. Now, funding revive voice secretly. Some loud critics in the DOS saga may be unknowingly boosted by opposition funding, free trips, data sponsorship, or media coverage. Legal misstep hunting. When the team is distracted, small procedural errors in court filings could occur, giving the government ammunition to delay or dismiss parts of the case. Now, cyber manipulation of public opinion. Fake social media accounts may be set up to appear as hardcore supporters, but exist only to inflame the DOS controversy. The DOS was controversy. Now, poisoning international was solidarity. Diaspora activities may see the internal fight and conclude the movement isn't serious, reducing international lobbying power. The too many spokesman problem. When everyone starts giving their own interpretation of the DOS matter, the movement loses a single unified message. Yes, it loses a single unified message. That is it. It loses a single unified message. Now, emotional burnout of Kanu's base. Supporters facing constant infighting lose hope, disengage, and stop attending rallies or online campaigns. Media blackmail possibility. Certain journalists might withhold damaging stories in exchange for influence or favors, giving outside forces more leverage, distracting from grassroots legal education. Instead of educating the public on the court process and October 10 implication, online energy is wasted on gossip or threats. manufacturing enemies within, making people believe that betrayal is everywhere, creates paranoia, which paralyzes planning and coordination. So, coordination, draining legal defense funds. Donors may hesitate to contribute financially if they think the leadership is unstable, starving the legal team of critical resources, training the public to accept delay. If the public gets used to months of distraction, they won't push back hard if the case is postponed again, giving opponents a moral high ground. A moral high ground. The government, even his own team, doesn't agree, using the rift to justify not engaging in good faith negotiations. So guys, just like I always say, please, I want you guys, to drop your comment below. Tell me what you guys really think about Tinubu trying to use rift, to delay Kanu's freedom. Do you think it's another strategy for him to win 2027 election, or it's another strategy for him to, keep, detaining Nnamdi Kanu and keep, dulling his case? So guys, please drop your comment below. Just like I always tell you guys, the normal ritual we normally do here, we use this platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So please do what's up in the comment section for Nnamdi Kanu. So please,
when the president calm down, the reason Nnamdi Kanu have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi Kanu, because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental rights granted to him by the constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate, but they said the way he was going about it, like and then people were being incited. Well, that's even not what I'm
what of the wife of the president incited people during the election? The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbo should not vote? If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi Kanu said something, then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries, America and Europe. So you are not saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, they wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So, apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of presidents. Let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate President is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal President is from where? National Industrial Court President is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And they are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
Are you sure Max, are you sure you're not? I mean, it's just like what I said too. I mean, isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold all this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that
but the chief of Naval Staff is from the Southeast?
Huh?
The chief of Naval Staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position.
So
number 1 person, number 2 person, number 3 person, number 4 person, number 5 person. The key position, we have 3 arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular governance is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly. that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And we are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Handele and you are now brought in Janko Juku, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Check, let me start with the source. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it. In academics, they are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. The one at Niger, the reason and the Kalu, let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted, that they said from, I think they said next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal courts in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal court? Federal court, National Industrial Court is a federal court. Federal High Court is a federal court. Court of Appeal is a federal court. Now, the people the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal over the Judicial Division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And we are not even thinking about all this. And the judges are not even thinking about, So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Personally, somebody like us, we're not even, I'm defending Nnamdi Kanu, one of his lawyers. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using a hidden number to call you. You don't even know what they're talking about court. The only thing that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi Kanu out. They're not even safe.
Okay, Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. I don't know, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held,
yes,
that is why the ills in the society in the Southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him? That is what you're saying.
Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it, he organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or adopted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, you said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I ask you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB is Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is out, you will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own, Emma Powerful will talk his own, this one will talk his own, this one. Who is IPOB? That you are even talking. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats. Just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that you know. Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Ala Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue that of Nnamdi Kanu, and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you the other day.
You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is. Because you're saying allow him to agitate, and he goes about it the way he used to, like, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think?
Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition giving Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I say, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition, he will still live like a human being, so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that made you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental rights. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I'll be paying you $500,000 every month, but you will not talk, you will not move out, you say, do away with your job. When somebody said, I'm going to release you, but I'll cut one of their hands, say no. The agitation for self-determination is a fundamental right. And if you people fail to understand it, I can agitate that I need the Republic of Maxwell. It is my right. Anybody can agitate. I don't even need people, crowd to follow me. It is when you now feel that you have gotten the necessary, the necessary, need the necessary qualities, then so be it. It is now left for the president who believe in democracy, who believe in government of the people by the people, to apply an initiative. What is the initiative? Release the person. Start addressing all those issues that gave rise to this agitation. It has been there. Uwazirike was agitating during Obasanjo. A lot of people were agitating. So now that you have arrested, you come down Uwazirike that time. Nnamdi Kanu came up. Now that you have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, someone is there. I think this data from Ned Nwoko was telling you that even if you arrest Simon Ekpa today, another Simon Ekpa will come out. So the issue there is that address all those issues.
Right. So for you, it's not about ministerial appointment.
No. That one. Okay, that is the complete distraction.
So guys, you guys have completely heard from Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, right? Now I will keep saying this and I will keep saying it. If the plan of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to try his possible best, to bring problem between Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers before 10th October 2025, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So the best thing is the Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer should just avoid any disagreement between them and try to make peace, so that 10th October 2025 is going to be a success, because people have said that this time around Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released. Yes, that this time around that enough of the postponement of his case, and people have started seeing it as it's as if the Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to use these tactics to win 27 election. People say that he's trying to use Nnamdi Kanu to win 2027 election, that is his plan. Because tell me how all of a sudden he's now coming out and he's now looking for Kanu's name, looking for how the Southeast is going to vote for him. He wants the Southeast to also vote for him come 2027 election, but it's not going to happen because none of the Southeast is going to agree to vote for him. Just like the time he came out and told us that he's not the one that he sent David Omaya to come and tell the Southeast that he's not the cost of Nnamdi Kanu being in detention, that it was Buhari. You can imagine that. Okay, if it was Buhari that caused it, then when it was now his own turn, when the presidency seat was passed to him, why didn't he do anything about about Nnamdi Kanu? Why didn't he use the opportunity to release him? Now, psychological warfare on Kanu's lawyers. By constantly making them defend against unrelated accusations, they mentally exhaust the legal team before the main hearing. So, instead of talking about the illegality of Kanu's extraordinary detention, people are not talking about, DOS, drama. Media manipulators know that leaders in activist spaces often have strong personalities which can be exploited for public clashes. Even media invitations intended to push Kanu's release now get sidetracked into debates over DOS leadership scrambles. Innocent comments from lawyers or supporters are twisted online to look like insults or betrayals. Now, new self-proclaimed analysts suddenly appear to explain the DOS saga, always with a bias that weakens the legal team's image. So people abroad may blame local supporters for the drama and vice versa, breaking the unity needed for October. So they need to avoid any form of argument at this particular moment. But Kanu is not actually released, and they should forget about what happened in 2022 and move on. Because that is just the best thing. Honestly, that's the best thing they need to do now. They need to just move on and forget what happened in 2022. Because it's not even going to help matters at all. It is not helping matters. So guys, that's all we have for today. Please let me know your comments below by dropping in. Let me know what you really think about this. Do you think that Tinubu is using Kanu to strategize, or is a way for him to win 2027? Do you guys really think that he wants to use Kanu to win 2027? So guys, please drop your comment below. And also, if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share this live section. And also, there's a normal ritual we normally do here. We use this platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So please do type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu. Please type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu. And also, justice delayed is not what justice denied. So guys, and also you guys are aware that he'll be coming to court on October 10th, 2025, and I'll give you guys latest updates concerning Nnamdi Kanu and everything about him. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again in my next live section.